Lively crowd. Excellent. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 10:05. You may have noticed on the announcement that we made on Wednesday morning that this is a special meeting of the board, which really doesn't make any difference. Basically, we missed the deadline for the Sunday announcement, so we did a Wednesday announcement for a special meeting, which is a 72-hour announcement. In any event, we're working with the front office. We've got a process in place. We're not going to miss any more of those deadlines. But this special meeting serves the purpose of a regular meeting, so there's really no difference. And I will tell you that has all been cleared through our attorneys. This is all perfectly legal. Also, I wanted to mention before we get started that your Dallas Stars have advanced to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
What a game it was. Okay, well, let's really get started. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum? We have a quorum. Excellent. Also, so the first item of business here is to approve our April meeting minutes. I think all the board members have had a chance to look at those meeting minutes. So, do we have any motions or otherwise? Discussion? Rick moves to approve. Shannon seconds. All in favor? Unanimous. Excellent. Okay, next thing. We did a few electronic votes this month. And ladies. Running a class or something. So the electronic votes that we did this past month, we approved the Falcon Realty Advisors Agreement. We approved the location for the Labyrinth Park signage, and that would be at the top of the hill, farthest from the street, so it kind of draws people in up to the top of the hill. We approved the new pool wristbands, which you might have noticed you can pick up on the way in. Yes, Emerson has one. And we also approved the water aerobics contract for this season, and I know that was something that seemed to be pretty popular among the natives. And we also approved the Rockwall Hospitality Group LOI just recently, so we'll be starting negotiations on that post-haste. Now we'll move to the reports and updates. My overview is actually pretty short this month. As I just mentioned, we approved the Rockwall Hospitality Group LOI, and we'll be starting negotiations soon. Other LOIs will be accepted, but it's pretty clear to us right now that Rockwall Hospitality, and Rockwall Hospitality is the Christie's group. They're really not affiliated with Christie's, it's just one of the guys is a part owner there. So we're going to start calling them Rockwall Hospitality. So other LOIs will be accepted, but Rockwall Hospitality is clearly the front runner here. We don't have any other LOIs right now, and what we've seen from Rockwall Hospitality is very good. So, unless something comes in that's just amazing, it's very likely that we'll be moving forward with Rockwall Hospitality.
Yay.
And we'll all have a restaurant and a place to have a glass of wine.
Oh, yeah, baby.
The cell phone tower just keeps dragging along. I'm still waiting on AT&T. I've pinged them a few times. I'm looking for their position on an easement versus a land lease. And, it's a giant corporation. I guess they're just, this isn't that terribly interesting to them or something, but I'm trying to, move it along as best I can. We'll see. It's not moving fast. And honestly, for us, I think as a community, what's the most important thing about that is the cell coverage. If it's not on our property, I'm okay with that. The revenue that we get from that is going to be maybe $2,000 a month. I mean, we're talking about less than 1% of our actual revenues, so it's not like it's going to make a big difference. But we just like to have something that serves the neighborhood, and if that's on, adjacent property or something, that's fine with us too. So we're really looking just to get the coverage more than we are the revenue. The revenue would be nice. And then the settlement with Spyglass, we are just about ready to give them our last payment. I think Seth has been working on that, and I think they have a meeting on Monday night. He'll probably tell you more about that in his update. And in fact, the next update is the treasurer's report, so I'll hand it off to Seth.
Morning, everyone.
Yeah, so the treasury report, let me get that. What's that? No. So we had some good revenue this month. We made a little over $12,000 over budget for revenue, and that has a little bit to do with the savings account that we've opened, some resale certificates that we didn't budget for because we don't budget for those. And there's a few things on here. If you look at it, you see they're not really budgeted for that we made income for, and one of them being even here the 501 boards. Okay. Some of the events that we had here, it was $6,300. So overall, some strong revenue. When we get to the net income part, okay. Again, net income was budgeted for $24,000 for the month. We ended up pulling at $60,000 for the month. That also means that there's some repairs and maintenance that we have not done because some of the budget that we have in here is for repairs and maintenance. So if you look at the repairs and maintenance lines through here, we are now able to start putting some money into the neighborhood as far as the roads, the fountain, and some of those areas. So that's where you're going to see a little bit of a swing in our net income differences because it shows we should have a loss year to date of $43,000, but in reality that's because we also budgeted to put in a lot of money into roads and other things. So far we're looking pretty good this year, and yet we do need to make some of these repairs. So you're going to see changes over the next few months. Okay. When it comes to spyglass, yeah, we've been working back and forth with the data that we have, and for example, Renee, she gave me, not to get in the weeds too much, but she gave me that there was 2 people that were missing because they had new owners come in, and so they didn't have the old owner information or whatnot. So I've reached out to that group, our accounting group, to get that information over to us so we can just double check and make sure that we have everything ticking in time. But overall, the difference was around like $1,200, so not so bad. The total that we're probably gonna owe them is around $29,000 to $31,000, so it's gonna be roughly into there. And we've already paid 25 of that, so not much left in there as well. So good stuff. We're almost at the finish line with the spyglass, and Audrey and I are now able to start digging into some of the appreciation on some of these projects that are needed and help out with getting repairs and maintenance done. So thank you.
Hi everyone, maybe a quick update on the maintenance. We're in full mowing, so that really does take up a lot of their time, mowing and edging the community. There's like a rotation Monday through Saturday, basically moving all the way around the community. They're also working on the pool inspection. We had 2 lights out. We had one initially and then another one went out. So Chuck's fixed those. I think there's one still to fix, but our last inspection is supposed to be Monday. And now that the armbands have come in, we're hoping Monday at the latest Wednesday, but we're hoping to get those open soon. They've also been working on a couple of trees that fell. We had 2 trees that fell in people's backyards and hit the fences. So it wasn't major damage. The fences are easily fixed, but they're dealing with that. They helped install the Labyrinth Park sign up on the front gate. They also, before the Kid Fish, fixed the Sovereign Pond sign. Blue here, and that's right. But they're also doing really all the ponds. They're just making sure all the signs are up to date and looking good. Let's see what else. They fixed some potholes around the community, and what we're doing is just doing a quick fix with what do you call it, tar? Not tar. What's it called? The asphalt. Thank you. Asphalt. Not amazing. They're way smarter than me. Anyway, we're still having a few issues with the front gate. That has to do with the 2 people that hit the gates. They did pay. We did get both people to pay for those gates, so that's it's coming out of their pocket, which is great. But they should be operating. I think, fairly efficiently. I think there's only one more time they need to come out. Okay, yeah, they replaced the magnet power sensor wire harness because sometimes the magnet sensor was not working. Let's see what else. Lawn compliance. There's a lot of lawns that are not in compliance. People need to start mowing their lawns a little more often. So just keep aware of that. Keep that in mind. They are looking at that, and we will start sending out warnings and then fines. Next, they've been cleaning up the park. Underneath the playground, there is we're missing a lot of mulch. And at some point we need to replace that, but right now maintenance is working on the irrigation issue, because what happens is we can go put this mulch back, but another big wind or rain storm, it will just wash it all away, so we'll waste our money. So they're working on the irrigation issue, and then we'll end up putting some more mulch in the park. Also, that's pretty much it.
Next up, Lisa with security and committees.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's been relatively quiet in security. However, we do want to remind everyone that golf cart age is 16 with a valid driver's license. You are responsible if your child takes the golf cart out and they're underage. You could be ticketed, you could be fined. They could potentially do harm to some of our structures or our residents. So there could be a potential lawsuit against you. So please, lock up your golf cart, take away the key, put a boot on it. You are totally responsible for that golf cart. 4 lights were repaired. Light poles were also repaired in our community. We're still waiting for some of the lights to come in next week so we can put them in our street lights. And we're monitoring TYC parking. You will potentially be fined if you're parking in the TYC lot without approval from the HOA office. All that has to go through Shelley and through Kristen. Please don't ask a board member to give you a variance. Please go to the HOA office because they'll let you know if you're allowed to park there temporarily. They usually have places for you to, if you're pulling out a boat, where to take it. Extra security has been scheduled for our Memorial Day party, our pool party. As a reminder, no glass whatsoever is allowed in the pool. That's very harmful. It shuts down our pool. We have to drain the pool. So you will be fined if you bring in any glass into the pool area. In addition, they'll be checking for wristbands or key things temporarily until we get everybody updated with the wristbands, right? So moving into events, we have our last camper event will take place June 14th. I'm happy to say, thanks to all of you, that we have managed to take care of 8 events very successfully that Kemper had prior booked and had deposits on. We have not had to refund any deposits. Next month, I'll give a full report on how much we saved in deposits and actually how much we earned. So that will be June 14th for a rehearsal dinner. Coming up, we have our Memorial Day party on Sunday, 5/26. That's from 11 to 8. And then we have our Memorial Day Remembrance, Monday the 27th, starting at 11:30. The Remembrance will be down in the SS Lounge. We have a wonderful garden tour taking place June 1. I'm sure Nancy will want to, during our open forum, give a little more detail about that. I'm not sure how many residents have signed up to be on the garden tour, but you'll fill us in, right, Nancy? So we're really excited about that. And as a special note, Judy on our Yard of the Month committee, who is also on this tour, it's her birthday Monday. So if you see her out and about, please wish her a happy birthday.
Yes.
So we want to give her some special recognition. June 15th, there will be music at the big pool from 6 to 9. There is also a June 7th fundraiser. Julie will talk a little bit more about that because it kind of goes in with the 50th, and a June 22nd sip and shop. A lot of people ask when the fireworks will be. They're on the 4th. That will be Thursday, July the 4th. You will see your fireworks over the lake here. So thanks to all of you for coming to the Chandlers Landing Taste. It was fantastic, but we're still selling raffle tickets. The raffle ticket secures the barge, secures extra security. It really helps us get that edge for next year also to buy fireworks. So all the money stays within the fireworks committee, and it just helps us out to get a foothold out to next year to prepay for those fireworks. It's really important to pay for them in advance and also get your permits from the city of Dallas that we are able to shoot them off over the lake. I think that's about it. I know the events team met and they're working on events for into the fall. Julie has more to talk about with the 50th and after the fireworks, what else taking place for that big weekend. So we've got a lot of fun activity coming up. So thank you all very much. You can buy raffle tickets in the HOA office. They're $20 for 5, and there's 14 great prizes. 2 are the Southwest tickets anywhere you want to go in the U.S., and then there's boat rides and just fabulous prizes. So thank you.
Okay, roundtable report. We had good conversation last Tuesday night. Main topic seemed to be the facility here, and that looks like it's coming around. We've got the LOI. Now the real work starts by negotiating the contract terms. So the LOI is not. There's a non-binding. It's a non-binding agreement. That's the main thing. But we did get that cleared, and now we're moving into the contract negotiations. So we'll begin that, and maybe the roundtables can take a different subject matter. We had extensive discussion regarding the kitchen. I think if everything goes well, the kitchen will be a non-issue. That's what we're hoping for. That'll be a good thing. The LOI May 1 deadline, it came and went. RH Group was the only one to submit anything to answer that question for the roundtable. Subject of the driveway, 501 status down here, that probably needs to take a big issue with our board here. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to do, especially, firework and the insurance liability claims that we might have for people tripping in that driveway coming down. I guess everybody here knows what I'm talking about. So we're working on that as a board now. Since we've come along for the last 4 or 5 months in a positive manner, I think we'll be able to do something there. That came an issue also for the 4th of July, concerning the traffic and the parking around 501 and in the community as well. I mean, maybe the board takes a look at that. How can we monitor traffic in here? How can we limit it so that it's not so much that it's dangerous? We get a lot of people coming in to look at fireworks, and we don't know where they come from. And, maybe that's something from a security perspective we look at and move forward. But go ahead and bring your questions up in the question and answer session. But we'll have another meeting on Tuesday week. I guess that's the 28th roundtable. Hopefully, we'll move from there. On to the old business.
Julie gets a chance.
Sorry. Just see if it was.
Okay, this is going to take me a little while because Cindy Mallett, who is our chair, has told me I have to tell you everything that's on here. We have been working really hard to plan interesting and fun activities for the July 6th celebration. We have been doing what we think are really fun events to get ready and to raise funds. And it's bringing, I think it's bringing a lot of residents together, giving us a chance to sit and talk and just do some fun things. Our next fun thing is the Jazz, Wine, and Art Show, or evening, which includes a solo art exhibit by Betty Hoagland. We're going to have a wine tasting by He Wines, She Dines, and jazz music by Back in Five. The Back in Five live here in Chandler, so I don't know if y'all remember the name. A brother, sister, she plays the keyboard. They're really good. Okay. And June 22nd, we're going to have another one of our Sip and Shop events, our spring market. It will be the last one. I'm sad, but it's really good fun. Everybody's been coming and shopping from all over everywhere and spending their money and helping us raise funds. On the July 6th celebration, there will be 3 events during that weekend. We will have, of course, the 4th of July fireworks, and then the 5th will just be at the pool, and then on the 6th, we're gonna have children's art exhibit. We've had a couple of events where they've been coming and drawing and painting and doing things, and we're gonna have that displayed out there. There's some people that are in our community who have been doing paintings and drawings that we're gonna exhibit outside in the large lobby area. And we're gonna have a tennis and sailing slideshow and memorabilia. We're gonna have a community slideshow, 50th anniversary main sheet special edition. We're gonna have a time capsule and plaque. Poolside, there's going to be a party from 11 to 5 with a pool slide, a DJ, frozen treats, and free lunch by Backstreet Catering, which that's what part of the 50th funds are going for, is to pay for a lunch down around the pool for everyone. On July 6th, we're going to have a soiree. I don't know if I said that right. We're going to have appetizers in the cocktail hour, cocktails, wine and beer, finger food buffet, music by the Texas Boys, yay. State and local officials are coming to present awards of recognition for our community, and we're going to unveil a commemorative sign. We need everyone to bring us old photos, old trophies, any kind of memorabilia about the 50th, so we'll have a great display out in front.
All right. And I want to specifically mention that the ladies on the 50th have done a fabulous job of putting together a variety of really interesting events. So thank you, Julie, and that committee. Okay, well, one more thing. The new business. We recently found out in the last few days that our main point of contact at our HOA law firm is switching law firms to actually a law firm with statewide presence that has a lot of resources, and I've actually worked with them in the past, and they've done fabulous work. And I mentioned this to the board, and my recommendation would be that we move with our main point of contact, who knows all of our issues and has been working on all of our issues, move with him to the new law firm. But what I would like to do is open that up for discussion, and any concerns or issues or comments that any board members might have about, or questions they might have about, you know, the changing law firms.
What is he doing? He's just merging with someone else?
Yeah, he's just going to a new law firm. The law firm that we're using right now is Riddle Williams, and they're a local firm, and they've done good work for us. Don't get me wrong. And I think actually what the best thing to do would be, there's a couple of issues that we're working on. The Yacht Club Management Agreement is one of them that it would make sense for Riddle and Williams to continue to work on, because our main point of contact isn't the guy that was doing most of the work on that contract. So, and I asked Grant Meeker is his name, and I said, I think we'd probably like to keep that with Riddle and Williams. He says, that's a good idea. He said, that's a wise move. You don't need me to do that. They're already working on it. So I think what we'll probably end up doing, my recommendation would be that we pick those issues that we think should stay with Riddle and Williams, get those resolved with Riddle and Williams, but you know, with all the current stuff that Grant's working on, move to Cagle Pugh, which is the new law firm that he's with. And they have offices here in Dallas. We're basically a Texas law firm, so they're a little bit more widespread. They have more resources. Cynthia and I own a property in Victory Park, and we had actually we filed a lawsuit against our general contractor for the building that we live in. And Cagle Pugh represented us and did a fantastic job. They were really, really thorough and did a great job. So I just think if we move to Cagle Pugh with the guy that knows all of our problems, we have more resources to bring to bear against anything we might need to do. So but again, I'm monopolizing the conversation here, so I'd like to hear any questions or comments from any other board members.
Grant's been really on the spot with us and communicative, so I think we should work with him.
So
I'm in agreement.
yeah. Any concerns about moving to a new law firm? Andrea has a concern?
Do we have a rate schedule for them?
The prices won't change. Our hourly rate doesn't change.
they done a conflict of interest search yet? I can't imagine they'd come up with anything, but have they done it?
I don't think so. If we indicate that we'd like to go with the grant, I'm sure that's the next step. They'll be like, okay, let's go.
How big is their law firm compared to Riddle Williams?
I don't know the number of attorneys. Well, they have offices in the four major cities in Texas. The Riddle Williams is just here in Dallas. So maybe 4 times as many. I really don't know.
Greg, with that move, would we have a new CPA as well, because the last 2 elections have been horrendous?
Oh, well, that's a separate issue, but
Yeah.
but that's a good point.
I'd like to have a new CPA.
That is a good point.
I know that Cagle and
Cagle Pugh, yeah.
you're also members of the CAI.
Yeah, they've been releasing all kinds of updates and seminars and things like that for HOA management companies. And so we would get all of that stuff as well. It's very informative. They're just really a good firm.
Do they do that at no charge, the training for policies?
Well, they publicize, they issue things, PDFs and stuff that you can use, yeah. Now, if it's specific to the community, then I think you have to.
Are you looking for a vote today? Or is
Well, I mean, if it's appropriate, I mean, if it's something that.
I have some concerns I'd like to raise.
Sure.
We got into this board, the 3 of us, and 2 of you guys were here already, but we had legal issues, and from my experiences, I always try to get away from the legalities and arguments and everything and work it out without representation if I can, because it costs a lot to go through lawsuits and litigation and so forth and so on. So I don't know where Grant weighs in on it. I don't know where this law firm weighs in on it, but I always would like to try to find a firm that would lead us and direct us away from arguments. And again, I don't know where he weighs, where he goes, where he's going. I know that we had a couple of lawsuits going on when we got here, and we directed them away from the lawsuits so that we wouldn't have to go through litigation, court costs, deposition, discovery, and everything that comes in as part of that. So anyway, that's consideration. It doesn't really weigh in with our getting three different opinions, 3 different bids, if you will. Wouldn't only be getting this one, and he just moving, so we're moving with him. I don't know how wise that is. That's all I have.
I raised my concerns a little bit in the email. I think, obviously, because of the history, we should continue to move right away so that we have a lawyer that can represent us currently. My thing was, I kind of agree with Rick in it as far as not so much getting a second, third bids, but we talked about, for example, this management agreement with the Rockwall Hospitality. If we were to go to another HOA lawyer, would they also say that we have to have it as a management agreement versus a lease agreement? If they were to read differently into our bylaws, so to speak. I think Grant is great. He's done an excellent job. He's been real fast to respond and very clear on his direction. So he is very knowledgeable. So I say at this point in time we would stay with him. But I also think that, to Rick's point, that we should also maybe get a second opinion on a few big items, just to make sure that we are okay with everything. And to spend a couple extra $100 to get a big issue opinion, 2 opinions, to me, I think is worth it. So that's my only concern about this. But otherwise, I would say currently move forward with it.
Can we get mileage for him? I've been on a couple of phone calls with Grant, but I'd like to see a buyout on him.
He's already our lawyer.
I understand that. But that was, I walked into it, so I don't really know much more than a few little interchanges I've been on calls with.
Brad actually came in to negotiate out of the spyglass deal. He was actually about not pursuing the lawsuit. And the others were more about pursuing the lawsuit, but to Jennifer's in a pod to stay.
Yeah, I
So
recall that.
I have no problem with y'all moving away from it.
Well,
And bringing a new CPA.
do we want to then table this for now and
We can.
reconsider it? Yeah. Yeah. So
Give people time to look into it.
so we'll and we'll do some of this investigation, ask some questions, and see if we can get another opinion on some issues that we're dealing with. I don't, like I said, we're already working with Brent, who's done fantastic work for us, and he's just going to, in my opinion, a better firm. So, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer, but we'll definitely look into these concerns that we have, and it might be in the e-vote next month.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. 30-minute meeting. How did that happen? We have a motion to adjourn from Jennifer. Do we have a second? We'll just say seconds, and all in favor? We are done. All right, now we have our owner foreman Q&A.
Nancy, you want to talk about the garden tour? Okay. Sure. Nancy Dempster, 6716. I just have a question first about the hospitality.
Mike?
Sorry, can't hear you.
All right, is it on? Nancy Jennison, and I live on Southern Cross. First, I have a question about the hospitality group, and just so that we know who exactly is working on the negotiations, and if we could have some idea of maybe a timeline or the process, so we understand what's going on and where we are and what's going to happen.
At this point, we just moved forward with this vote this morning. So we'll move that information on to Jackie, and Jackie will prepare a negotiating contract, if you will, and then we'll start with all the general conditions and terms and everything of the management agreement. And I suppose we'll still be moving toward a management agreement based on legal concept.
Who is Jackie? Sorry.
I'm sorry, Jackie is she's our real estate representative for the Falcon Group, the listing agent.
So you'll keep us all up to date with emails and things so we know what's
Yes,
going on.
ma'am.
Thank you. All right, so I'll talk about this garden tour.
Just briefly, the LOI that we have right now in place specifies delivery of this building to the Rockwall Hospitality Group on June 1st. Now, that's not a guarantee, but you were asking about timeline. So we're trying to make everything happen as fast as we can. And if you think about it, that's less than 2 weeks away. So we hope to be able to negotiate all the terms and get the contract ready to go and get them in here doing their, they're going to redo some cabinets and stuff and do the kitchen and everything. Get them in here by June 1st. That's the goal. Unless we get, an offer of $10 million from some other offer.
Well, that would be great. If they start that on June 1st, is there an idea of how long it might take before it would be open?
They want to be open by July 4th.
That would be so awesome.
They want to. Now,
Let's
that is a
clap.
very, very tight timeline. But maybe they can pull it off. I don't know. But that's that's
We
the hope.
appreciate all that you're doing to get the ball rolling. Thank you. So I'm going to talk about this garden tour that is June 1st. And right now we have 8 gardens, and so we finalized that because we have to get everything going on, with the flyers and all that out. And in fact, 2 of the garden people are here. They're gardens, the Wagoners and the Hoovies are going to be on tour, as well as 6 others. And then we're going to have 3 or 4 drive-bys. So at that time, excuse me? So you don't have to get out of your car for driving or your golf cart, but anyway, if you want to, it's okay. So there's going to be cars, and we've invited people from the Rockwall community, the gardeners in the Rockwall community, so there'll be other people coming in. At the guard gate, we're going to have a sheet with all the houses, and then we'll have a map on the back, and then we're going to direct them towards Betty Hoagland's house. And Betty has offered to, she's donating garden angels that she painted, 3 of those, and we're going to have a raffle for that. And if people pay $5, it's a donation, and the money all goes towards the 50th anniversary celebration. And we have a couple of young girls that I got that are going to collect the money and give out the raffle tickets and all. So it's going to be a fun day. And then at my house, Julie, the plant lady that she brought here for the sip and shop, is going to sell plants on my patio. So that will bring in a lot of people too. So Jill's my next door neighbor. There'll be a lot of cars all over. So just expect that. And you know, they're just going to come look at gardens and leaves. So I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, just keep it out there. Give it to the next person.
Okay.
That's right. We'll keep it secret.
Who else has a question?
Are there other questions or comments from our wonderful owners? We got one back here.
Question, and I don't care one way or the other, but I just want to know. So if we move forward with Rockwall Hospitality Group, the max we will have to pay Falcon is $8,000. Is that true?
True.
Don't care. Nominal fee.
And that's a bargain.
I got it.
Did we get a second bid?
No.
Did we get a second bid?
We tried.
I can answer that. So at this point, Jackie has been working with Leo and Tom, the realtor, the other group, and they said it's going to take them time to put together an LOI, and they need time because something like this just doesn't just come overnight. So they're putting it together, but it specifically said, not Leo, but the realtor said, if you want to continue to move forward with whatever you have, I'm not going to stop you. I don't want you to lose your deal, but we need time to put this together correctly, and we can't just slam something together and give it to you without it being done. So they're still working on the LOI, and it's not out of they're not done. They're still working on it, but they have not presented anything at this point. So at this point, we're just on hold. That's directly to Jeff.
2 years ago.
And they're running out of time, obviously. We're moving forward. So.
Isn't that against our policy though? Shouldn't we be getting?
No, that's not the way. It's if you're going to spend money on a contract, basically, that's worth more than $50,000. It's not when money's coming towards us.
Okay.
Also at that point, we could lose this deal. So if we were to lose this deal, and then also we had nothing, so that this is not the same situation of getting 3 bids.
Can you tell us what that other group you're talking about is? Seth? Seth, who is this other group
Oh, the other group?
that you're just talking about?
So it's Leo. He owns Numero 28 restaurant and pizzeria, and he's also the vice president of operations for Lombardi Group as well. So Lombardi Group has about 15 restaurants. Leo has 2 or 3 restaurants himself here in the Dallas area. So he's just a kind of a one-man show, kind of like Jordan Carson, just a one-man show, and he's been doing really well with restaurants here. And he left Lombardi's, the big, they have a beautiful restaurant in Vegas, and they have little bitty, cute little restaurants around the nation. They're one-offs. They're not like what you would think is a corporate. They're actually kind of like James Hoffman that we're dealing with the Rockwall Hospitality, because Rockwall Hospitality, he also has 16 restaurants as well. So we're looking at 2 similar groups here that both in a similar style of looking at unique niche restaurants. They don't have just like a cookie cutter brand. They have different unique restaurants that are Asian fusion to Italian to American grill. So, and I was looking to say with James Hoffman, he's got a piano bar, he's got some stuff as well. So, as we look at the Rockwall hospitality, I've really done a lot of due diligence talking to other restaurant people that I've known over the years. I've done tons of Googling, and you can find a lot of this information yourself online if you Google it. For example, that's why we know it's not the Christie's group. Ashton Christie is not involved in this deal. Jordan Carson is a part owner, and I don't know how much ownership, but I would assume that after 30 years of Ashton Christie and his family owning it, that Jordan Carson could own anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe 20%. I don't know. So that's why it's the Rockwall Hospitality. James Hoffman is putting up the financials and the personal guarantee, and he's the one who has the piano bars and some other different restaurants around here. So that's kind of where we're at. We've been doing back and forth with both groups. I've dug into the Lombardi groups, and I'm also with Leo and his restaurants. And so we're hoping to get another LI, would be great. But at this point, we got what we got, and Christie's also has been working with Rockwall Hospitality has been working with us on the negotiations of a few points that I know Jackie and I were pretty not stern on, but we thought, why would we give up this if we're already giving you this? So we're getting to we both came to a pretty good agreement on both groups with the board, with Jackie at Falcon Group and with Rockwall Hospitality. So it's been a lot of work, but we are moving forward, and we're hoping to get this all completed for the residents as soon as we can.
At the last meeting, that we're going to do this, is that still the case?
Yes, Rick and I are on all communications with text and emails, and we even set up phone calls with conference calls with Jackie so that we can make sure that everyone's on the same page. And then if any of the board members have questions, so like last Tuesday, or just this last Tuesday, we all got a Zoom call and got on the phone with Jackie so all the board members could have their questions answered. So with all of us on the call, someone was dropping on and off as we were all around the different places, but overall, it was a good call. I think Jackie was able to answer everyone's questions and get everyone on the board on the same page.
Yes, Mark, Skirts 5104 Yacht Club. How does a kitchen figure into the negotiations and the timeline? I mean, we were told at the round table that it would take 15 days to get the kitchen up to snuff. Seems like it would put a crimp on our timeline for the 4th.
Well, again, it's something I mentioned in one of the other round tables and at all the board meetings. Any restaurant that comes in there is going to take the kitchen and do what they want with it. So one of the things that we talked about, and I think Lise and I both we're really on the same page as being the restaurant people, is that we don't want to put any money or any time into the kitchen, because anything we do in here, our restaurant's going to come in here and just tear it out and do whatever they want anyways. So we worked with the negotiations with Rockwall Hospitality, and I don't want to get into details right now, but we worked out where they're going to be able to, they will fix the kitchen, and it'll be on their dime and their dollar, and they'll be able to get it all done.
So there'll be one point of contact then.
But
It'll be Rockwall with the city of Dallas.
Oh.
We won't have
And they
be
get to do
involved.
it the way they want to.
Yeah.
And it's, we don't have, just like your kitchen, go. So hopefully they can do it fast. They want to open by July 4th, so
We
if their
get
kitchen
involved, they
is
find
ready.
something that's wrong, then we have to stop.
Here you go.
I have a question. Say brought it up. Are we going to get a new CPA? I mean, are we actively working on that? Because elections will be coming up.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, I haven't actively been looking, but I'm more than willing to take any kind of reference anybody has, because I'm very unhappy with our current CPA.
Yeah. Well, I saw.
I think Mr. Honeycutt is also,
Yeah.
we struggle a bit. So that's one of the things I'd like to start doing, is looking for a new CPA.
Good.
And not just because of the election last.
Yeah, but that was pretty telling though.
It was-
And the year before.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, I have a question. When you were talking about the law firm change, and then you were talking about the management agreement, has Grant been handling the management agreement for Rockwall Hospitality Group, or what? I didn't understand that.
He hasn't been the lead attorney on that. Dean Riddle and Julie Foster have been handling that for us more than, Grant's obviously familiar with it because he's our point of contact, but Dean and Julie have been doing more of that work, so that's why I think it makes sense to keep that work with Riddle Williams, let them finish that up for us, and we can do all this stuff Grant's doing, we can just take it to the law firm.
So there's nobody on the present law firm that can take over what Grant's been doing? We have to move with Grant?
Well, we don't have to, but he is intimately familiar with all the issues that we're dealing with right now. He's a good lawyer. He's going to what I consider to be a better firm. I just think it's a good move for us to make. But we'll talk about it as a board, we'll make a decision.
Okay, the other thing I was concerned about is all of our islands in this community are loaded with ant beds. You can't even walk up on the curb, there's like ant beds every 6 feet. And the mulch doesn't get turned, and they're in bad shape. Is anybody is the maintenance group, is that their job, or who does that?
I think they would do that.
Put out fresh
Yeah.
mulch or something like that. And they don't edge. They don't edge. It just looks. And that's it.
Thank you, David. We got one more question.
Microphone?
Real quick. Thank you. And this is regarding the pool passes. I was just wondering about clarification on this fact. We each get 2 passes per household. So if you're one person and you've got 2 passes, you could bring a friend. If you are a household with, say, 4 children, do each one of those children, are they able to bring a guest? And then is that just
Per household.
okay, per household, it's 1 guest or a group of guests or 2 guests? Okay. So I know that's kind of not.
It's specified somewhere. I thought it was 4 guests. Maybe it's 2.
Yes.
Do you guys know? It's 2. 2 per household?
2 per household. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be hard of it. Is that right? Well,
No?
I just noticed last year there were a couple, I go down a lot, so there were a couple situations where it looked like all the kids brought one of their friends, which, I mean, I can understand that. It's hard to cut that off. But we do have a policy, so if it ever got out of hand, we could refer to that
We
policy.
did call security when someone had about 12 children down there and they had to.
So
they had
there's-
to make it.
so there's
They weren't very
recourse.
happy about it, yes.
Okay, that's all. Thank you. I'm delighted to have these. Thank you, board. Good day.
We can rent a small pool.
The question is,
We
keep on
can rent a small pool.
That's right. That's a good option to give them, yeah. I forgot about that.
Hey, on 4th of July, why don't we charge to have outsiders come in? $20 a call, $10. Fundraiser.
Yeah, they're talking about that.
We'll have a party every year.
Yeah, we have guests.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you get good.
We can check them at the door.
Check them at the door. Well, it's really,
I just said that it's gotten kind of out of hand, that the residents can't get down to the 4th of July fireworks.
That's the question.
Why can't they park in they have roped off maybe the parking lot out front for just residents?
I don't think any of us heard. Can you get the
Yeah,
microphone?
put the mic close to your mouth. No, close to your mouth.
Oh, okay. I just said I have a concern about all the carloads of people coming in for the fireworks. It's so much, sometimes the residents can't get down here.
for the fireworks. I said, can't the parking lot be roped off for just residents or?
We recommend taking the golf cart if you have, because the golf carts can get through. You have lots of different ways you can get through with the golf cart. So if you have a golf cart, that would be the time to use it.
Well, I think I heard that like there was 1,700 cars that came in last year. That's way
Well,
way
what
too much.
happens, it's really residents invite their friends when they go to their homes.
I have friends that come.
These three homes right here, they block off the road every year.
We have to call them.
And they block off the road every year, and they have a huge party. These one, two,
Right,
homes over here.
right, I know. A lot of people have parties, but it's just.
My dad, my sister, and all that.
But we have people all over Rockwall that come here that don't have parties.
They don't.
And I think there needs to be something talked about now before the pool. I mean,
So that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we can look at
If you
that.
had your family member over, or you had a party at your house, we can't limit you. And so when they bring them down to the water, it's a very hard thing.
Oh,
to
I
limit.
understand that. I understand. I think there's a lot of people that don't live here, don't know anybody here that somehow come in.
Yeah.
And I found that out in the last year or so.
You've got the marina parking lot.
People can walk up.
I mean, I think that just walk down.
Well,
That's a huge.
Can I promise you that we'll take this issue under consideration as a board and kind of try to figure out what we want to do and let it not, at least not be as chaotic as it has been. Let's try to, I don't know how much we can do, but we'll definitely discuss it.
One last, Jan House, 110 Scepter. I see what Linda's getting at is not people that have friends here. It's people that don't have a connection here or from the outside. So if we all, if they're checking in at the guard gate and the guards ask them, are you coming to see a resident? Then yes, they come in. Are you coming to see a resident? No, we're just coming to see the fireworks. We don't know anybody here. Maybe they could be, at that point, there's a pass.
Well, something to think about.
Yeah, okay.
Last year,
Charge.
Kemper was doing this building, and there was a restaurant operational, and what do? So if we
That's
have,
true.
So if our Rockwall hospitality guys have opened by July 4th,
Yeah, you don't want
they're
to.
going to want as many people as they can.
That's true.
Well, let's hope they do.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love that idea,
Yeah.
fill it up, and make some money.
That's true.
I've got a question.
Yes,
I
sir.
talked to Mark recently, and I want to know, when will the newsletter come out? He said he was waiting for your
Oh,
story
thanks
for the
thanks for
newsletter.
having me on.
I'm waiting for several things.
Always waiting for several now.
But you already named me, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're the most important person on the board. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Waiting on mine.
Oh, see, he
When
has
you-
mine. He
how-
has mine now.
Okay.
It's her fault.
How soon do you think you'll have it in?
I am interviewing tomorrow, so we'll have a
Okay.
draft.
Well, it'll take a while to print it though, right? No? Not that long?
What's the lead time on printing?
It could be anywhere from 3 days to 6 days.
Okay. Thank you.
But it's going to be digitally
So
released.
yeah,
so-
we're looking at
Okay.
this
Okay.
coming week, it'll-
Thank you.
And if I could make a request, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
If I could make a request on the digital version of the newsletter, if they could be with a push notice, because the last couple of times there was no push notice. So a lot of people didn't see it.
Athlete, 6102 volunteer. I wasn't quite clear what y'all were saying about the guests at the pool. Is it 2 guests or 4 guests that you're allowed to have?
Our front office says it's 2 guests per household, all right?
So I'm assuming a guest would be defined as someone who doesn't reside in my home.
Yeah.
Would that be correct?
That's fair.
So like if my son, my daughter-in-law, my grandson come over, that's 3.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So
So is it non-family members maybe? Or-
Not family members, I think it's with,
Be realistic.
So it's like-
The problem is, we only have so many who to be in the pool.
Right.
So we just can't have normal commercial bringing over friends or having parties down on people or whatever. I don't think someone's gonna pick on you for whatever. What I'm saying is just discretion to say to. So just.
You're gonna have 2 wristbands, just me, each wristband gets 2 people, so it's almost like 2 people. Sorry. It's-
No, I thought it was 2 per household.
You get 2 wristbands.
I understand your intention.
And Joe's down here and I'm up there,
know, I've got two people up there, he's got two people down here, you know.
We'll make sure and work with security,
I don't care
and
how
let
you
them
slice
know
this, really.
it's due for household, but if it's not a situation that's, yeah, it's a family member, you know, there's some
We
discretion.
just don't want private parties.
Right, exactly, we don't want.
Well, and to note, there are a few families in here that have, 4 or 5 kids, so, well, I'm just saying. So.
You don't like to give them
James Wagner, 327 Harborview Drive. We've been working, or I've been working with the city on the health side and on the temporary CO, which I know the board knows that that's just a temporary Band-Aid. You can do this, you can do that. And that's the only reason we've been able to have these events that we're having is operating under that temporary CO. My lady that I'm dealing with, she says we really don't need to make a habit out of extending that moving forward. So, the Super Bowl, the bingo was all by the grace of the city, because they could have said no and put a lock on the front door. So, the last email I sent to her, she granted to June 1st. My question is, I've got to respond to them on or before the 31st, probably that Thursday or Friday. I need a little direction from the board on where we're going to be at that point. Whether your discussions with the city, so I can structure that email. I'll send out a draft to all you guys to check, or, add to, delete. But I think we really need to sweeten the pot in telling the city where we're progressing.
Yeah, totally agree. And they've been really good with us, just as long as we're making progress, right?
Right. And they know that, like Rick said, LOI is, that's shrug of the shoulders. Yeah, we may really not.
Right.
But I think if we can come with a little bit different dialogue, that's saying, yes, it's because we've got a lot of events on the books that hinges on this.
We don't want to, we don't want to risk
We got
that.
4th of July, we got races.
So now we've got a fully approved LOI, and that LOI specifies delivery of the building to the Rockwall Hospitality Group on June 1st, which is our end of our CO.
Right.
So they're going to be taking over and doing it fast, and hopefully they'll, with that progress, saying, hey, we've got a professional restaurant company coming in here to do all this work. Hopefully that gives the city a good, idea that this is going to get done quick, and they'll extend us for another month.
Right. I personally think that LOI and a lot of direction with who we're going with, and give them possibly a timeline, if that can be negotiated in your talks with Rockwall Hospitality. When do you see you getting on that kitchen? Because that's what Kelly is going to want to see.
I think Rockwall Hospitality has a wonderful contractor that the city really likes, correct? Is it the same people that?
Tommy C? Yeah.
They did Wade Landing, right?
Yeah.
So they're very much on board with what those guys can do. If they bring in the same crew, I think they're going to be very happy with us.
Because one of the inspectors called Tommy C. inquiring on where we're at with Yacht Club. So there's that marriage.
Not that he would know,
But not to get into the weeds too much with this, I think the city, they just need to know the main thing is that we are not planning on continuing to operate this ourselves, that we are aggressively looking for an operator to come in here to fix the kitchen, and we are in the middle of an LOI, potentially 2 processes. So I think if the city understands that, I think I haven't talked to them as much as you have, but I would think they'd be very awkward, like, okay, you are not using the event center, you're on your own, you are aggressively looking for an LOI, we'll back off for this.
Well, I think just address them that we have a LOI that's been voted on by the board of directors, and the contract is forthcoming.
Yep.
And a schedule on the kitchen.
And right now, it's June 1st to deliver the building, and they want to be open by July 4th.
Yeah, and then it's on them, and we would say at that point, they're gonna be hustling to get it open.
How fast can they get it open?
Right. Okay, well, I'll copy everybody of the draft before I send it, so everybody can color on it like a first-grade teacher and send it back.
Thank you, sir. James, are you providing food over Memorial Weekend, is that correct? Are you providing food for Memorial Weekend? Is that correct? Thank you. Thank you, James. I hope y'all love pop. Please have that. And margaritas. And margaritas.
All right, last question.
Yeah, just a quick question on Rockwall Hospitality. Are they planning on doing any work, other work within the environment, any cosmetic changes or anything like that?
The Rockwall Hospitality?
Yes.
I know they're talking about redoing some cabinets in the restaurant here.
The bar is.
This bar, yeah.
It's not,
right
the bar
here.
here is not, secured properly. So technically, if you were to remove all the refrigerators and everything out of there, the bar would collapse. So one of the biggest things they said they were gonna do is the Rockwall Hospitality is to talk about fixing the bar.
What, lighting or anything like that?
I mean, that's all on them, and that's all gonna be a negotiation. And again, at this point right now, we're just trying to get, are they gonna come in the door or not? We can't get down the weeds with, are they gonna change the lights and everything else? That's the next step, right? So
They're going to come to us with a proposal, here's what we want to do, so your whole building. And we actually are contractually obligated to give them an answer within 5 days. So we will do better than 5 days. We'll make sure we get to that.
I know they have a big interest in putting some artificial turf out there on this yard, so that it's not holding water like it is now. Those drains don't hold water and create mosquitoes. They've got a real interest in that yard right there. And they've had contractors come out and look at all that. They've measured. That's why you see paint markings out there on it. They know exactly how many square feet, and they've got a big interest in doing that. So that's something the board will have to take into account. Go ahead, Debbie.
I have one more question or thought.
Well, you're breaking the rules, Debbie, but we'll allow it.
Okay, I wonder if it is possible to stop or curb people using the fan sheet to run for office. I mean, that's what their bio sheet is for. But I know, in the past, we've read stuff.
He's not on the newsletters anymore, so you don't have to worry about that.
Who is it?
Are you talking about Evan?
Yeah.
He's not on the newsletter.
Or anybody else that wants to promote themselves through our main sheet, other than advertising the businesses.
Thank you. I know it's hard to find contributors. You know, there's not a lot of people that, well, he's already waiting on us. You know, it's hard to find people that can write 400 or 500 or 1,000 words.
Yeah, what I'm more concerned about is losing the newsletter, because we don't have enough people helping out and not enough people putting forth effort. So if y'all would love to keep the newsletter, have someone join. If you know someone's good at writing, encourage them to be part of it, because it's a lot of work, and I'm talking about a lot of work on one.
This guy,
And
a lot of work.
I even have to talk, we try to do what we can, but we're not very good responsibility. So if we want to keep it going, if you know someone good, please tell them to help out and join. If you have a good article that you think would be good for us, give us suggestions.
Yeah, even if you're not going to write it, maybe it's a good idea for our.
Like, I don't even write mine, I go interview someone and he puts it into beautiful words. So that's just, like the Chandlers, what's it called?
In Chandler's Corner.